Are you aware that the longest river in the region, the Euphrates River, is drying up? This catastrophic event has left millions in Syria and Iraq without water and is causing significant environmental damage. Join me as we explore the biblical and scientific significance of this alarming situation. From the role the river played in the history of civilizations to the horrifying discoveries made by scientists on the dry riverbed, we will cover it all. We will also discuss the urgent need for sustainable water management practices and the responsibility we all share in protecting our planet. Keep watching to find out more about this critical issue that affects us all. Euphrates River. The longest river in the region is drying up, leaving millions in Syria and Iraq facing water shortages. The Euphrates has played a significant role in the history of several civilizations, including the Mesopotamian Empire, which was situated directly between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. The river flows from Turkey via Syria and Iraq before merging into the Persian Gulf. The river basin has evolved along with the rest of the planet as people have populated areas extremely near the river, changing its natural course. One of the earliest cities to benefit from the Euphrates River was Babylon. With it, the city grew enormously powerful. It was said that whoever controlled the river's water could reap the most success. However, the Euphrates River is becoming dire. It is much smaller than it was a few years ago due to the water policies of Iraq's neighbors, Turkey and Syria, a 2-year drought, and years of overuse by Iraq and its farmers. Some officials say it may soon be half what it is currently. The decline of the Euphrates River has destroyed farmland along its banks, rendered fishermen destitute, and depleted riverbank villagers as farmers leave for the city in search of employment. All social classes, including sheiks, ambassadors, and even members of parliament, who return to their fields after weeks in Baghdad, though the impoverished suffer more severely. The book of Revelation predicted that the river's drying up would be a caution of the end times. Scientists have been monitoring the Euphrates River to determine what is causing it to dry up. A horrifying find was made on a dry riverbed they were conducting their research on. These rivers originate in the Taurus Mountains in southeast Turkey, where loads of snow from the Alps melt into the river from its source. These rivers then travel across the plains of Syria and Iraq before emptying into the Persian Gulf. Rainfall and rivers flowing into lakes or sources of the river's mass. The river basin is located in various climate zones, ranging from Mediterranean to hot, dry environment every year. Rain and snowfall total of 3,500 millimeters in the top section of the basin. In comparison, the bottom segment of the river receives just about 60 millimeters of rain. The Tigris and Euphrates river systems are now experiencing poor water productivity with climate change, endangering the river's water systems and the lives of their residents. The Euphrates River is one of the historical rivers mentioned in the Bible and one of the world's oldest inhabited locations. Yet, the river system has altered dramatically throughout the years. Archaeologists noticed throughout the investigation that the water routes had shifted, providing evidence of ancient droughts, floods, and desolation periods. However, it's starting to run dry once more, with places that formerly provided food and water for people and animals turning into patchy terrain. Each nation that borders the river, including Turkey, Syria, and Iraq, contributes a sizable amount of water to the river. Turkey is still the main distributor though. The Euphrates River has been used for many things throughout its history and is still used for various things. It provides drinking water for the communities, irrigation for agricultural growth, industrial use, and recreation. Because of the river's importance, the three nations agree on its proper use. This demonstrates how important the river is to the well-being of every neighboring nation it borders. Syria, Turkey, and Iraq began researching water resources harnessing in the 1960s. They needed to use the river better, which led to the construction of sophisticated water development projects. The findings on the dry river that the scientists were conducting research on were disturbing. They found tunnels beneath ruined land structures. Some believe that these tunnels were used by the old Babylonian Empire to store water, while others speculate that they were used to imprison fallen angels. Whatever their purpose may have been, the discovery of these tunnels adds another layer of mystery to the already haunting situation. The drying up of the Euphrates River has not only affected the people and animals that rely on it for survival, but it also has significant environmental consequences. The river's decline has led to the loss of important wetlands and the extinction of several species that depended on it. The shrinking of the river has also contributed to the increase in the salinity of the soil, making it difficult for crops to grow. This has led to a rise in food prices and a decline in agricultural production. The situation is dire, and urgent action is needed to prevent a humanitarian crisis from unfolding. The governments of Turkey, Syria, and Iraq must work together to develop a sustainable plan for the use of the river's water resources. They must prioritize the needs of the people and the environment and take immediate steps to reduce water usage. In addition to governmental action, there are things that we can all do to help. We can reduce our water usage, support organizations that work to protect the environment, and advocate for sustainable water management practices. We must all take responsibility for our actions and their impact on the planet. The drying up of the Euphrates River is a warning sign of the consequences of climate change and unsustainable practices. It is a reminder that we must take urgent action to protect our planet and the resources that sustain life on it. The fate of humanity and the environment is in our hands, and we must act now before it's too late. In conclusion, the Euphrates River, once a source of life and prosperity for millions, is now in a state of decline. Its drying up has significant environmental and humanitarian consequences, and urgent action is needed to prevent a crisis from unfolding. The situation is a warning sign of the consequences of climate change and unsustainable practices, and is a reminder that we must all take responsibility for our actions and their impact on the planet. Together, we must work towards a sustainable future that prioritizes the needs of the people and the environment.